Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today's video is going to be the continuation of yesterday's video. So right now we are finished with the cutting of the fabric. So this is what we are going to do. Okay, so first of all, open up the front and then bend it over to the back like this. So once you bend it, remember the 2 inches that we included in front the first time we did this, so during the pattern drafting. So once you bend it over like this, fold in 1/2 inch inwards at this point like this. The next thing you're going to do is to sew it down here and also here. All right, so that once you turn over like this, you see the lines coming out here. And remember to use a different color, either a yellow or blue, or just any color that you know is going to fit well for you. Just go ahead and use that. So now once we are done, we also went ahead to pick out the dots. Now it's time for us to fit the collar. So if you don't know how to fit the collar of a shirt, I've already made a video on this. Is on my channel. Please just check that out. All right, quick one, so that you can know how to fit this. I didn't want to include it in this video so that it will not be too long. That's why I didn't include it here. So just check out this video on my channel. You will really enjoy it. All right, so moving ahead, after that I have finished inserting the collar, and this is what it's looking like so far. Now on the shoulder, remember that you have to double stitch on the shoulder. Okay, top stitch 2 times on the shoulder. You know, everything that has to do with jean has the whole double stitching, double stitching and the rest. So now you're going to go ahead and insert your pocket. So guys, at this point, before inserting the pockets, you're going to measure from the shoulder down to where we have 6 inches. That is towards the bust point, 6 or 5 or 7 inches, depending on how busty you are. But then the clip on which I did this, I actually lost that clip, and it's so annoying because I took my time to explain what I was doing, how I cut the pockets. But anyway, that's just by the I'm sorry about that, guys. So just go ahead and then insert the hand, and then also close towards the sides also, and also top stitch on the shoulder 2 times. This was only one, but then I went ahead to do it double times. So once you're done, put it on your body like this, and then be sure that everything is sitting well on your body. All right, because after that you're going to be fitting the waistband. All right, so now we are moving over to the down part, which is the trouser section. So just go ahead and sew on the crouch line like this, using the 1/2 inch that we inserted. Now once you're done doing that, also remember to pick your darts. Okay, now once you're done doing that, this is the back part. So you're going to go ahead and top stitch at this part now 2 times. All right, just go ahead and top stitch here, double top stitching. That is just the signature of a jean look or appearance. So this is what it looks like after I have finished top stitching mine. So as you can see, I wasn't using a matching thread. Okay, so just use any thread that you feel will be okay. So this is the front, and this part now you're going to be opening it. So I'm going to be measuring from my waist down to where I have 5 inches here. So this is where I'm going to, the opening is going to start. So from here now, from here down is where I'm going to be doing the double stitch. Now come over to this other side where you're going to be inserting the pocket. Now I'm going to be marking 2.5 inches here towards the side. Then from that point to down, so going to be marking 5 inches. Now I'm going to be using my ruler to connect these lines together and also to connect it outwards. Now once you're done doing this, bring in your tape, and then at this point here, this junction here, mark 1 inch inward. Now try to connect the lines and then try to create the curve. The curve line should sit on that particular 1 inch that we just marked. Then you just connect it down to the other parts of the line. Okay, now this is what you're going to cut out. This is where the pocket is going to be seated. So this is the place that you're going to be cutting out. So do the same thing for this other side. Now I have gone ahead to draw the same thing for the other side, and now I am cutting it out. Now I'm going to show you how to cut and also how to insert the pockets. All right, okay, so let's move ahead. So now once that is done, place a fabric like this underneath it. Now place your fabric, the front part of the trouser on top of it. And now what you're going to do is this. You're going to place this thing back in here. Okay, then you're going to cut out this other part that looks like an excess. Just take that part out, then remove this very one out. Let's pick it out. Now the next thing you're going to do is to mark 2 inches down here. Now on top of this, you're going to come in here and then mark 1.5 inches at this other area. Then you're going to lift this this top part like this, and then you're going to mark downwards, so it will be easier for you to be able to connect this line and then create that curve around it. Now this one that we are cutting out now is what's going to serve as the base of the pockets, okay, which will now be showing when you're wearing your pockets, I'm sorry, the trouser. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and please make sure you cut 2 of this, okay. Now cutting 2 of it so that one can go for the other parts. Like as you can see, you have already done part 1 for the other side. Now this is what it's going to look like. Now once you cut 2 of this, okay, it's right side facing each other, and then you place this one on top, it means that other one now is going to serve for the front, while this one is for the back. This is for the front, while the other one inside now is for the back. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to bring this one out and then replace it with this other one. Now I'm going to go ahead and then cut this out. I'm just going to cut this very particular part out so that I will not end up confusing myself, because this part now is the one I'm going to use to turn around this pocket, okay, to give it that very neat look when we turn it right back inwards. I'm going to show you everything, so just follow the way I'm doing it and then just cut this out. So once you're done cutting it out and then you bring it out, this is what it's going to look like, okay. So now you're going to place it on top, and then you're going to sew it down here, so that once you flip it over, it's going to stay underneath, which will now give this neat look on top. Okay, so let's just go ahead and then cut this other part that is going to be seated inside, like the pockets right inside. So you're going to fold your fabric like this into 2. Then bring in these other parts that you just finished cutting, both the front and also the back, and then place them on top of it this way. Now you're not even going to be cutting more. The reason why we are doing this is because we would have used the jean to actually make the full pocket from start to finish, but then the pocket inside is going to come out looking very thick, and we don't want that. We don't want that feeling. So that's why if you check out your jeans, you put hand inside your jean pockets, you see that the underneath part of the pockets that they did has this white stuff inside, so that the pocket inwards will be lighter since it's going to be on your body. Do you understand? Since it's going to really fit you very, very well, it's going to be a lighter fabric. So just cut around it like this. All right, you can definitely make the jean a bit shorter if you want to, but it's just how I just wanted to do mine. Then I'm going to move it a bit forward just to add a little bit to the volume of the whole thing, okay. So this is just, it doesn't really have any specific measurements, so just do what you feel is very much okay for you. So after I finish cutting this out, this is how it's going to be seated on each other before I will now fix it back into the trouser. This is how it's going to be seated. So the next thing for us to do now is to turn this one around and then place it on top like this. So we're going to sew down this area and around it like this. All right, this is just how you're going to place it. Now once you're done sewing it down, you're going to also turn it around and then top stitch on top of it just to lay it down flat. So this is how it's looking like at the back, okay. So you understand how to top stitch it. So you're going to go ahead and then do the same thing to these other parts, okay. Just go ahead and do the same thing to this other part. Place it over like this and then sew it all around. Then also top stitch on it. Now once you are done doing that and you've gone ahead to top stitch, bring it over to the main pockets like this and then place it on top of it and then sew it down, okay. Then you now flip it over to the other side. Now this part will now end up showing inwards instead of, you know, just making it look somehow. It will make it look neater. So now once you're done, fold this part over like this and then go ahead and top stitch over here again once, just once. Now once you're done doing that, you're going to fold this one in like this, and then you're going to top stitch again the second time, which will now make it 2 stitches on top of it. I don't know if you understand. So that's what's going to help place this particular pocket in, like inwards, okay. So that's just it. So once I fold it over like this, like I said earlier, just go ahead and top stitch it now. This at this point now it's just going to help place it inwards the way it's supposed to be, okay. So once that is done, just go ahead and bring this other part and then place it under it like this. And please make sure to arrange it properly so that it can sit the way it's supposed to. Okay, just go ahead and then arrange it properly and make sure it sits the way it's supposed to. So that once you're done doing that, the next thing is for us to go ahead and then pin on top of it and also below. So this point now is going to help hold it in place, because we got, oh my god, see my face. I had to read these goggles because it was too bright. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Anyway, and I was busy jamming to music. Oh god. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and then pin this part down. So once you pin them down, it's going to sit very well. Then sew this point and also this point. Okay, when you turn it over, bring this one over and then sew around here like this. That's how you're going to close this pocket. All right, so once you're done inserting the pocket, this is what it's going to look like. And then you go ahead and turn this over to look exactly like this. So I want to bring your pockets out to look something like this. As you can see, it's looking very neat now. Isn't this looking very neat? This is very, very neat. But you can definitely try and make your pockets deeper than mine. I didn't want my own pocket to be deep. Okay, so that's why I didn't make it big. So that's just it. All right, so now that we are done with the pocket, let's move over to something else. So now what I'm going to be doing is this. So remember the front part that we said we're going to be opening. So I had to go ahead and then open that up. So if you can see at this junction, that's what I did here. So now what I have here, this is 3 inches here. And when I turn it around, this is this inches here. Okay, so this inches now, this thing I'm showing you guys now is what we are going to be using to create that flap in front of the trouser. All right, that's the front of this trouser now. So now here's what you're going to do. Now you're going to pick one of this and you're going to start from the other part. Now turn it and fold it over in this manner, and then what you're going to do is this. You're going to fold 1/2 inch inwards in this manner and also 1/2 inch inwards towards this other part too. Then you're going to fold it over like this. Now this is what you're going to do once you're done doing this. Take this part over and then bring in this other side inward, like as in between these two things now that we just folded. This is how it's going to look like once you place it in between the two of them, and then you're going to go ahead and then top stitch on top of it here. Okay, just top stitch on both sides down. Now once you're done, you should have something that looks like this, definitely. All right, so as you can see, I did double stitching on by this other side, then 1 stitch here. Now let's move over to this other side that's going to be showing in front, because the other part is what's going to be inwards, where we are going to be inserting the button, okay, or the zip or whatever it is you want to insert at that side. Well, I want to insert button in mine. Now you're going to go ahead and then draw or just mark out this point. You know that front part on the trouser? That's what you're going to be doing now. So at this point now, make sure that your hand is actually where you have the beginning part of that other one that is underneath, so that it can sit normally, like it can sit on the same line. Then draw a line that like this. So once you get to this other part, try and draw a curve down at this area. Okay, so now this is what I am doing. Just look at what I'm doing, then follow suit and then do the same thing on your own. So once you're done, this is how it should look like. Now you're going to fold over this part in this way, then bring in this other one that we cut out and then try to place them together like this. Okay, now you're still going to do the same thing to the other side, but then I later noticed that this was a bit larger than what it's supposed to have been. Okay, even the other side was a bit larger. So when you're cutting the other parts, make sure you cut them not 3 inches but 2 inch, actually 2 or 1.5. Okay, so now you're going to fold this and make sure that you're folding 1 inch out, just like what you see, what you just saw now. So this other part that was on top is what I just took out, while the other one that was below is what I'm going to be using. So now go ahead and then stitch this down. Now once you're done stitching it down, this is what it's looking like so far. Now this is what we are going to do. We are going to go ahead and then top stitch on top of it the way you're seeing me do, like this, so that it can align with the crouch area. Now go ahead and then top stitch on top of it like this 2 times. That's double lines, just like every other part of it. But then this is what is going to happen. Okay, you can definitely go ahead and then cut this out and then have the curve, or just allow it like this. Then you can go ahead and then weave the whole thing once you are done. So the next thing you're going to do now is for you to lift this part up, then sew it down to this point. That is the 2 times you're going to top stitch. Okay, because this part now we have to sew this down part in the way that it's going to be able to pick up the other part that is under. I'm going to show you everything. So now this is what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to head to top stitch the 2 times that I meant on top. Now left this place open. Now this is what you're going to do. You're going to pick these other parts that is at the back and then continue the sewing at this point so that it can hold down both the front and the back together at that very point. So that once you open it up like this, that part is also going to be attached to the front. Okay, so that's just what it is. So the next thing is to put this place together and then pin them down, because we're going to be joining the back to the front. So once you place them together like this, do not join the sides first. Now the first thing you're going to join here, once you place them together, is for us to join the inner thigh area. Just go ahead and then join all of them around like this completely, and then you can go ahead and then iron it. I was literally dancing, guys, sorry about that. So just go ahead and then join that together. So once you're done joining it together, this is what it's going to look like. Now open up your trouser and then do this to it. So just look at how I did mine. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing at this point now is for me to go ahead and then top stitch on top of it 2 times. All right, just top stitch from the beginning of the other leg down to these other parts of the leg. And once you're done, you should have something that looks like this. As you can see, the jean is actually coming together already. This is how it used to look like. And you make sure that everything should align, everything should sit the way it's supposed to. All right, okay, so once we are done with this, now it's time for us to go ahead and then try to close on the side seams. But before then, we have to fold in the leg, that's in the ankle area first, before we go ahead and close the side seams. So double fold it like this, and then also sew it down the way you sewed down this part. Okay, that's 2 times. So once you're done, the next thing was for us to go ahead and then close the side seam. So I've already gone ahead to close the side seam for mine, and this is what's looking like so far. So now before we join this to the waistband or to the top part, we are going to do something first. The same thing that we did to the top, so that we know that it's definitely sitting on our body perfectly before we just join them together. So bring it out like this and then go ahead and wear it and be sure that it's sitting very well on your body before you join it. Now here's what I'm going to be doing on the waistband. So I've gone ahead to attach the waistband down with the main body. That's, I inserted the main body in between the 2 parts of the waistband. Okay, and then I've also gone ahead to sew down this place, and I also went ahead to sew it down. Okay, that's in joining the 2 of them together with the main body, which was inserted inside. So after doing this, now what I'm going to be doing next is this. I'm going to turn it over like this, and then I'm going to go ahead and then top stitch on top of this band. All right, like every single thing when it comes to a jean is top stitching, and it's going to be a double stitch. So top stitch on top of it 2 times. All right, and then we are going to bring in the trouser and then fit it in at this other part. Okay, now I'm going to fold it over like this. Now be sure to fold this over. If you have an iron, please go ahead and iron this part down, and please don't drag the material, the fabric as you're sewing it, so that it will not have an excess. So fold it 2 times like this. Okay, and then place the waist of the trouser inside of this band and then sew it down straight. Now once you're done, this is what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so at this point now I'm just going to go ahead and then top stitch around these parts very well, the way I said before. Okay, that's what I'm going to be doing now. But then I'm going to be taking these to a professional for them to be able to insert the buttonholes, because it's a very different type of buttonhole I want to insert. So that's why I'm doing this.